Let's talk about co-op. Is Lords of the Fallen going to give Souls fans the seamless co-op experience we deserve? Before we jump in, as always, I want to take a minute and thank everyone for watching my recent videos discussing Lords of the Fallen. Honestly, it means the world to me, and I'm really enjoying making these videos for you all. Don't forget, giveaway at 1,000 subs, and thank you all for checking out the video. Seamless co-op. That's what the developers of Lords of the Fallen are promising, but is it going to be everything we're hoping for? Touching on what we know of co-op in Dark Souls and Elden Ring, in Dark Souls to summon you must use an ember and the summon sign must be placed on the ground for you to interact with to summon someone into your world. Similar concept for Elden Ring, you must use in-game items and interact with a summon sign to have the ability to summon someone into your world. In both games, the player that has been summoned has reduced healing items and health, along with neither player can touch a bonfire or grace. If you or a summoned player dies or you defeat a boss, the summon process has to be repeated, but only from a location that both players have access to. Also, in Elden Ring, you are restricted to a specific area of the map. This is also the case for invasions, understandably, because the world map is so massive it wouldn't make sense for the entire map to be available. So the points that we're going to cover today is going to come from an article by The Loadout. It will be linked in the description if you'd like to go check out the full article for yourself. Through Lords of the Fallen co-op multiplayer, you can team up with one other player. Through this, you can either explore the world and see what it has to offer, or fight enemies in a bid to level up and upgrade your attributes, or tackle the Lords of the Fallen bosses throughout the entire game. The part of this that stands out to me the most is where it specifically mentions one other player. Now, we know there's PvP. We don't necessarily know if there's invasions, although I would assume if there's PvP, there are invasions. However, with the way I read this, I'm curious as to if you're co-oping with someone, does that mean that no one else can invade your world? You can't do any PvP if you're playing co-op? Maybe the PvP is just a single player thing only? But that's going to be one of those things that we're going to have to play the game to really find out how this mechanic is going to work. In a move that differentiates the game from Elden Ring, Lords of the Fallen doesn't rely on in-game items for its co-op multiplayer gameplay. Instead, Lords of the Fallen features a seamless system in which you can jump into one other's game at any point. So if you happen to be in Umbral, that's where your friend shall join you. Perhaps one of the most intuitive aspects of Lords of the Fallen's co-op feature is that you can revive your friend, a sought-after mechanic. Yes, that is. In games such as Elden Ring, when your co-op partner dies, that's it. They return to their own world, and for them to rejoin you, you have to summon them all over again through the use of an in-game item. This isn't the case here, though. This section right here has two of the best things a Souls fan can hear regarding co-op, and that's that you can revive an ally. Now, I'm sure it won't be instantaneous. There will be some kind of bar or meter that you have to fill. But the other thing is that there's no in-game items required. It seems that you can bring someone into your world whenever you want with zero hassle, and that is amazing news. Now, we all know that Elden Ring, all their game mechanics revolves around the world and the story and the lore. So it is very much baked into the story the way these things function. And that is really cool that they do that. But it's awesome that this game is taking a different approach and allowing the co-op to be a lot more user-friendly and really fun. I know there's a lot of people out there that have been dying to play through a Soulslike, Dark Souls in particular, but dying to play through a Soulslike with their friends. And this may be the first time that we have something that allows us to do that. Through the two-life mechanic, if the host of the game revives an Umbral and they are able to return to the living world and retain their progress, then you, the other player, will be transported as they dictate the world's state. For players that struggle with this genre, the mechanic makes the game more accessible, providing you and your friend with a second chance rather than allowing your progress be for nothing. Now, this I like. My one question is, in the previous paragraph we read, there's a revive mechanic. Now, does that revive mechanic apply to both the host and the summon party, or is it just the summon party? And if the host dies in Umbral, is it at that point you will have to go back to a vestige and then bring your friend back into your world? I'm hoping that you're able to revive each other rather than it just be a one-way street there. The last key point we want to go over is, does Lords of the Fallen have PvP? Yes, Lords of the Fallen has a dedicated PvP mode for those who want to test their might against other players instead of assisting them. We don't know much about it yet, though, which is true. We know for a fact there is a PvP system. IGN released a video with the developers playing some co-op recently. I'm sure it's playing in the background now, as you can see. And they talked about the PvP system and said they have designated areas where PvP can take place. I am interested, though, as to, from my understanding, you can only summon one person into your world at a time. So I'm curious as to, if you're playing co-op with someone progressing through the game, can you get invaded, or can you only get invaded if you're playing alone or in a dedicated area for the PvP specifically? That is a question that hopefully they will answer soon, and I am really interested in figuring out. Also, how will the PvP work with the dual world system? Because if you're fighting someone, I guess maybe if you get invaded and you go into Umbral and they'll just follow you in whatever the world state is, but I guess that's going to be a thing for us to get our hands on to figure out. Hopefully, they'll let us know more about it before the game comes out, but regardless, I'm super excited for this. The co-op feature is going to be absolutely awesome. To finally be able to play through these games with a friend and be able to go from start to finish is going to be absolutely amazing. Also, they said in the co-op video with IGN that if you're in someone's world, you can't interact with any NPCs, but you can buy things, you get all your souls, you can upgrade, you can rest, you can do all these things. The only thing that you can't do is actually progress the story. That is for the host and the host alone. Whenever you go back to your game, you will have to progress the story from the very beginning or wherever it is that you left off. I think that's just about going to wrap it up. Please comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your opinions on what we know of the co-op so far. I can't say this enough, but I appreciate everybody that checks these out. You all have made creating this content super enjoyable. I love interacting and having conversations with everyone. So keep it up. I really appreciate it. And don't forget, at 1,000 subscribers, I am doing a giveaway. 3 $100 gift codes to the platform of your choice. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed to the channel. Once again, I appreciate everybody checking these out. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Later.